Good morning, everyone. Today I will be talking about, as already mentioned, about collaborative work with LaTeX and Overleaf. My name is Janis Leuter. I work at the Bauhaus-Universität Weimar. Before I start with the real talk, just a quick preface. So I will not talk about LaTeX. I will not give a tutorial about LaTeX. This is basically talking about the editor Overleaf and what it can do. If you do not know LaTeX, if you don't have any idea what it is, I think this talk will still apply to you, so you can still learn something about it. And also, I think Overleaf is a very good tool for learning LaTeX. So it is very beginner friendly, also on your own. So even if you don't want to work collaboratively, you can get into Overleaf really quickly. It is very intuitive. So I recommend, if you are trying to start your LaTeX journey, then maybe this talk is also a good introduction to you. I will provide some helpful links throughout the presentation. Of course, you can't click them right now, but I will share this whole document, including the source files at the end, so then you can go back in it and click on all the links if you like to. I hope this will be some help after the presentation. Exactly. So I will share the source files, so then you can also have it as a reference. For example, if you start using Overleaf, maybe if you want to do some slides yourself, you can use this talk as a reference on how I did things, and maybe you want to replicate stuff, then you can look at the source code. As I said, here are some links to learn LaTeX. Not useful right now, hopefully useful for you later on. And then very quickly about myself. So I work at the Bauhaus-Universität Weimar for 3 years now, at the chair of Information Security and Cryptography from Professor Lux. And well, why am I doing this today and not someone else? We basically use LaTeX almost daily at work. So we do research papers for computer science. This is a common practice to do it in LaTeX. Our lecture slides are in LaTeX, our lab class slides or exercise slides, our student assignments. Then we have bachelor or master thesis or project reports, and everything is done in LaTeX. While internally we are quite small, we use Git to work collaboratively. Still, we use Overleaf often to work with external researchers. So this is usually a very good tool to also asynchronously work on something. If Git is maybe not, if some people are not very familiar with Git, then this is usually the better tool to use. As a student, I did use Overleaf extensively because there, if you work on assignments like with 3 or more people, then you need some collaborative environment, and then Overleaf is usually a very good choice. So I have some experience, and I'm trying to convey the core of that experience to you today. So very quickly about Overleaf in general. So Overleaf is the, as I said already, a real-time collaborative LaTeX editor. I always say think Google Docs, but for LaTeX. So it's kind of the same concept. And it is in the backend an open source cloud-based web application. So you can have the software as a service. I did provide the link to the source code. So if you are very interested, you can look at that. So in my opinion, the user interface is very intuitive. Might get some used to it at first, but I think as soon as you're into working with it and you have some concrete project, then you can really find your way around really quickly. And of course, the most important thing, it has very many useful tools and features. So not only for the collaborative side, but also for your own, for LaTeX editing and LaTeX compiling and previewing and all that stuff. So Overleaf can either be self-hosted by yourself. You could self-host it by yourself if you like, or your organization. For example, here at Weimar, the student council hosted one instance on their local servers because the university did not do it yet. Hopefully they will. If you want to use it, you can click that link, although you need a Bauhaus Universität or like Hochschule für Musik account. So maybe that won't apply to everyone here. In this case, this instance has all features. So if you self-host this yourself, so if you self-host the instance, then you can have all features. I will get back to why some features are not available in some other instances. Can also be hosted by I will call it the Overleaf company, so the creators of Overleaf for your organization. For example, in Ilmenau, you can get into this Overleaf instance with an account. I think you need a TU Ilmenau account. I'm not sure if there's maybe some guest access. I'm not sure about the server locations. I'm always curious about the server locations, considering data protection laws. So this is something that you might need to ask for yourself or look up for yourself. If these servers are also in Ilmenau, or if it's basically just some cloud service by Overleaf hosting it for the university. Also here, you have all features. And then, of course, which I will be doing today as well, you can use the official overleaf.com instance. And there you have the problem. If you have the free version, then you have some feature limitations. These limitations should be manageable if you are not using it very extensively, but I will show some of these limitations later on. Let's get into the features of Overleaf. So I would do it very hands-on, and I will invite you to collaborate. So I will send this link into the chat. And as you can see, I am already in Overleaf and I'm doing this presentation from Overleaf. And if you click that link, you can have a read-only, you can't edit, but you can join this project and you can, while I show this, you can also maybe try to go around these files and also the Overleaf structure. So I hope the invite link works. If not, if you can't click it or if you can't open it, it's fine as well. I want to go over the features, or most of the features, the most important features. So first of all, I talked about the collaborative editor. You can see it already. I'm in the editor as well. So on the right side here, I have the PDF preview. On the left side, or the middle basically, is the the editor where I have my LaTeX code, and then on the left side there's the file browser, and you can have some file outline here. So if you add sections to your document, you can see it in the file outline as well. So it is very organized, very structured here. I've talked about the layout. So if you go to the upper right here, you can see the layout tab, and you can also edit the layout. So you can show the editor only, you can show the PDF only, PDF in separate tab. So this is all possible. And you can also resize your editor here using just the mouse. So if you need some larger editor and a smaller preview, you can do that as well. So this is all very intuitive. There's also the visual editor. You can see on the top right, on the top left here. I do not recommend it. I'm not a big fan of it, but it can be quite a good middle ground if the code editor is too much code for you, and you want to have some idea on how the final product looks. Usually the preview to the site is enough for this, but you can use the visual editor as well. So then there is the real-time compilation to PDF. So I already talked about the side-by-side view. If I change something in the code here, I can do it in the current slide. So if I add some text here, I click on recompile, and it will take some time. And now here you can see the text is added. So it is very easy to compile on the site. You can click here, you can have an auto compilation on, so every time you make a change, it will compile. You can have, I'm not sure about the fast mode, this is probably also some paid feature. And there is a lot of, how to put it, you can configure a lot of stuff here in LaTeX as well, in Overleaf as well. So I will remove this again. And you can also compile by, for example, Control S. So shortcuts work as well, just like saving a document, and then it will compile as well. You have also, you have some error handling here. So you can see this one here. So currently it's giving me some warning. Usually you can ignore some of the warnings, but I will add an actual error here. So I will uncomment this ampersand here. So ampersand is a reserved symbol in LaTeX, so you can't just use it like this. You could escape it, that would be fine. But like this, it will throw an error. I will compile, and I will see that, well, it's giving me an error here because it's in the frame environment. And I can also click on the logs and output files here, and I can see the errors. So it's saying line 136. And this is, of course, the end of this frame environment, so it can't be very much, a lot more specific. But for me, it's fine. It's in this environment. I can see misplaced alignment tab character, and then I can remove this again. So the error handling is quite convenient. If you've ever compiled LaTeX without Overleaf on your console, you might know that error handling in the, let's say, pure LaTeX compilation can be very tricky and difficult to understand. So the next thing would be the quick and easy sharing and access control. So I've already created this read link here. So this was the first example of a share link. If you click on the share button on here, you can either add people by email, and they will be receiving an email. Also, if they have an Overleaf account, I think they will have some pop-up on their Overleaf main page. And I have turned on link sharing. So you have gotten this read link here. If you are quick, you can type this edit link and then delete this presentation. Please do not do so. But you can also have link sharing here for easy access. Then you have history and version control. So I've already hinted that Overleaf also uses Git in the background. So basically every Overleaf project is one Git repository, and also the features are kind of replicated here. If I go to the history tab here, you can see the history from today. You can see already this is a premium feature. So if you want to go back more than the last couple of hours, or maybe the full day today, then you already have to get the premium version. This can be circumvented. For example, you could, if you really need to go back to one specific point in time, you can replicate this using Git and then look into the Git commits there. So this is a premium feature which can be circumvented, albeit it takes some more effort. But for example, you can see this was my last change, and you can see what I did. I removed this ampersand here, and I added this space. Well, it was because of my of the text that I removed and added a space here. And the same goes for the other things here. I've added some underlines, and you can really see the history here. You can also create some labels. So if you have some different versions, version 1.0, then you can put a label there, you can make changes, and then you can quickly go back to all these labels that you have made previously. I will go back to the editor, scroll down to the features again. The next thing would be comments and chat. So of course, a chat is always very important in these kinds of collaborative suits. It can really help with like asynchronous communication. It's just a chat. So I don't think I have to talk a lot more about the chat. You can chat there. And the next thing would be comments. So you can, if you see this review tab here, you can click on this and you can add reviews. This would also be doing this reviewing thing. As you can see now, this is also a premium feature. So what you can also do always is put comments into the code. So if I would say, well, this is wrong. So you can always do this, of course. So this reviewing feature, it's kind of annotating a PDF, I would say. It's kind of helpful, kind of convenient. Also something that can be very easily circumvented, like the premium version. So you don't need the premium version per se for this. The last point I have here, and this is of course not everything, but I think the most important things that I've covered here is the import and export of projects. So if I go to the top left to the menu, you can see that I can download the source. So this is then a zip file with everything inside the file tree. I can also just download the PDF, which is usually, well, the goal of doing LaTeX, that to have a PDF at the end. And you can also, when you start a new project, you can also import an existing tech project, LaTeX project, which is then also very convenient to, if you have already created something on your local machine, then you can replicate it in Overleaf and open it also for other collaborators. Then there is one thing that I have not included in the slides, but which I thought of just now. If you go to, I will go to the main page. So this is basically the main page of Overleaf. So your home page basically. These are all my projects. So I have a lot of projects over the years. And you can see that you can organize your project. So if you have a lot of projects, you have a lot of data, you can create a tag. And for example, I have created a tag for the FDM talk, and then everything that I have here, all these sample files, for example, that they are now in this kind of directory. Also, which I will not show, but you can log in to Overleaf or create an account to Overleaf using various different methods. I have created an Overleaf account myself. You can of course use Google or whatever, but you can also use the org ID to log in, which is, I think, very helpful if you have one. So there's not really a gap. So you don't have to provide a lot of information to create an Overleaf account as well. This is, of course, for the official overleaf.com instance. If you use the TU Ilmenau, for example, instance, then of course you already have an account. So yeah, let's talk about Git. So if you already use Git, I already told you that we at our chair, we use Git to work collaboratively with LaTeX, and Overleaf also uses it. So you can kind of do both things at the same time. So each Overleaf repository, Overleaf project is a Git repository, so you can easily clone the repository. You've already seen it. If you go to menu And then you can see also the sync option here. I mean, there's Dropbox and GitHub, but if you just want to clone the repository, you can click on Git itself, and then you have the link to clone it. You probably need to generate some authentication token. So this is just a token you can generate in the settings. It's very easy to do. Also, the help page is very helpful here. So then you can clone this repository, and you can use this repository. You can work in this repository as you would. You have the same file structure as in your Overleaf file tree here. And if you push some changes to these, for example, to this document FDM slides here, then this will immediately be replicated also in the Overleaf project. And also the other way around, if you change something here, then you can pull the changes in your local repository. So this is very easy and also very helpful to do. This also allows for other people that might not want to use Overleaf. So there's always some guy maybe that doesn't want to use it. Maybe they are very keen on using Git for everything. And then you can also kind of share this Overleaf project with someone that does not want to use or cannot use Overleaf. Yes, so that's for Git. I can recommend also, if you used Overleaf for a long time and maybe you're very good at working with LaTeX, setting up your local environment with some editor of your choice can really boost performance, or kind of you can be a lot more productive with it. And then Git really works wonders if you can kind of work on. So sometimes the Overleaf editor can constrain you because it might be slow for bigger projects. And then this can be a very good option. Then I have some examples. I will not go over them like very extensively. I will show some options and how this looks like. It's basically more LaTeX examples than Overleaf examples, but all of these things are possible here. First is a master's thesis, thanks to Kevin, who provided his source files. So you can see it here. This is a thesis. It has 99 pages, including a bibliography and everything. And everything had been done or could be done also in Overleaf. So you can see these different files here, and everything can very well be edited in Overleaf. Also, you have, of course, the option to organize your data or your plots and figures and images here. And also you can have any data also in this file system. So it's not that Overleaf restricts you in which kind of file formats you have to upload things. You can just use this kind of as a normal file system as you would. The next would be a poster, thanks to Natalie Lang, who created this, also with a very great picture of their cat. So you can have, for example, posters where you can sometimes it's not that easy to create these kinds of deviations with LaTeX, but everything is possible. And if you have this poster, you can then, of course, print it, for example, in a bigger format, and everything can be done using LaTeX and Overleaf. So this is not a very big file. Of course, there's some placeholder text. Then there would be a research paper. So there's also an actual research paper from us. This uses a predefined document class, so the LLNCS from Springer, and you can just put it in here and use it to create your document. So you can see I configured the document class using the LLNCS format, and then everything will be put into place, and you have to you can edit your content as you like. And the last one, an assignment from us. So this is an assignment from last semester for the students in our lecture. This uses the exam document class. As the name implies, you can also do exams or tests with it. So if you want to have some multiple choice tests, you can easily use this. Basically, what I'm trying to show here is LaTeX is very versatile. You can use it for a lot of things. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky to find the correct document class, the correct packages or commands that need to be used. Now, with the language model of your choice being very helpful in these regards, I think it's gotten way easier. So, as with coding, I think with LaTeX, for example, ChatGPT or other language models can be very helpful in helping you. Also, if you do not quite, so if you want to, for example, create some research paper or other things, you can look at the Overleaf template database. So this is also a very helpful database for LaTeX templates. This is very extensive. So for example, you have templates for journal articles, bibliographies, books, etc. For example, let's say I want to create my resume, my CV with LaTeX. Then I click on here. I can find some selected by the Overleaf stuff, but also recent, so everyone can upload their template here. And let's say I want to take this, then I can just use open as a template here. And voila, I have my own Overleaf project on my account with this template. And now I can edit it and I can, for example, change the name or whatever. So this is also very easy to use. And I recommend, if you need some, before creating your own document from scratch, look into these into this database, and maybe you can find something that really suits your needs as well. And that would be it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Also, if you have any questions about the interface where I should maybe go over again, we have some time left. Thank you.